Hey everyone, welcome back. It is time for another wrestling review. I am glad we are getting this review out for you today. It's late, it's long story, doesn't need to be explained, but with me once again is Campo.Reviews, the man who reviews movies, TV shows, wrestling. I, of course, am Johnny Donuts, and if you can't tell by my shirt, we are reviewing TNA's Slammiversary tonight. So Slammiversary happened about a week ago, but we're doing it. Yeah, let's get right into it.
He believes.
I believe, even though don't know what to believe. We'll start off. We had four pre-show matches. So the first one is capped off by Tasha Steelz, Fabi Apache, Giselle Shaw, and Zaya Brookside. Now sorry, I was going to say there's a little storyline between Shaw and Steelz right now.
Yeah, and you could see they're trying to tell that.
Mm-hmm.
We'll breeze through these quick. It wasn't a bad match by any means.
No.
It was nothing special. It was fine.
Yeah.
I thought there was some impressive move set pulled off through the entirety by Giselle Shaw.
Yeah. And
Um,
Fabi Apache, she's a Mexican legend. So
Tasha Steelz wins, and
by pinning Giselle Shaw.
At the end of the match, I'm going to be honest with you, I wasn't really sure how I felt about the outcome considering of the way the match went. Tasha Steelz was the weakest one probably in the whole match.
Yeah. Zaya Brookside looked the best.
Zaya Brookside looked great. Sorry, I was trying to burp and talk at the same time. But I thought Giselle Shaw
was good. Yeah. And this is her first loss and since they've rebranded.
Yeah, she's been on a winning streak.
So, and it was to Tasha Steelz because she beat Tasha Steelz a few weeks ago. So, but yeah, Tasha Steelz wins, and they're hinting that this could have title implications. I doubt that. I don't see that. I can already tell you who the next in line is, and we'll talk about that when the show later on in the show. There's a lot of matches on this card. There's 12, including 4 pre-shows. So it was a large show. Next, we have Kushida against Rich Swann. Originally, this was supposed to be Jonathan Gresham.
Yeah.
But what happened? He was hurt?
I don't know. They don't really tell you. So I would have liked to see that storyline continue because that was a pretty interesting, weird storyline.
Yeah, because this character that Kushida came out as would have worked better with.
Yeah, it was like not Tensai. What's his name?
Hakushi.
Hakushi. And
with the tattoos all over the face.
I'm not a Rich Swann guy, and I'll even admit he wasn't that good in this match. But as a whole, this match was pretty good.
Yeah, with what little time and what little they had to work with, I think they pulled off a decent match.
Absolutely.
Kushida has his own little version of his mist now, and it was a quick win by Kushida.
Mm-hmm.
So Kushida goes over. So eventually, I think they will get to the Gresham feud. So with that, yeah. So with that, it's a TNA Tag Team Knockouts championship match. The Militia are defending against Spitfire. I guess this is their rematch clause.
I guess, yeah. As a whole, I didn't dislike this match. I think the weird angle there's some weird angles happening, but I think as a pre-show match, it was fine.
Yeah. And surprisingly, they have the digital media championship on the pre-show. They didn't this time. This time it was on the main card, and we'll get to that a little later. But in the end, the Militia does retain. They had a little some shenanigans, in the ring. Like, Masha distracts the ref with the belt, and then, Alicia uses the belt to knock out the other girl. So, I mean, that's the problem is right now there's not enough tag teams.
Yeah, but it is what it is. I don't even want to and I think
they've broken up another tag team because I think someone's gone. We'll talk about that when we get to later in the show. So with that, we have our fourth match, which was not planned. This is Santino comes out and says Eric Young needs a match or something, and he has to face Hammerstone.
Okay, so I'm just gonna say this, and you tell me your take after.
Mm-hmm.
Surprisingly solid match. But they've now made Hammerstone look useless.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I understand the reasoning for Eric Young winning this match.
And it was a cheap win, too.
But it felt like you spent so much time building this guy up, and now he's doing pre-show matches, and he's losing to Eric Young. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. He just left a feud with Josh Alexander, and now he was losing a pre-show match to Eric Young. Like,
yeah, this is like almost like New Japan booking, where you're more like Noah, where you're at the top of the card one week and then you're at the bottom of the card, and then the week after that you're champion.
Absolutely.
So, like I said, this was This is and funny enough, because the news just dropped, he comes out in a Doctor Doom mask. And did you hear the news?
No,
Robert Downey Jr. has officially been cast as Doctor Doom.
that's weird.
Yes, they have announced today at Comic-Con. This is being recorded on Saturday. They announced it today at Comic-Con that they've renamed the Avengers film from Kang Dynasty to Doomsday.
I mean, whatever. Let's see how it
Yeah,
plays out. I think that's
but
weird. I
but
would have
yeah,
went with Cillian Murphy.
yeah,
Or
he would have
Killian
been good.
Murphy, sorry.
Killian Murphy, yeah, but he would have been great. But it's surprising. It's like what is it? You live, you either die a hero or live long enough to see the villain. To hell with it, I'll do both.
Factual.
But off topic, just thought I'd give that little tidbit of information out for you guys. So with that, we'll go into our main show. It's Broken Matt Hardy against renamed JDC. Johnny Curtis is what the initials stand
Yeah,
for.
it's Dirty
John,
Dango.
yeah, it's Dirty Dango. Johnny Curtis
Um,
was his NXT name.
I mean, I didn't hate this match, but it felt completely unnecessary.
Yeah,
I get the point they're trying to take down the system. That's what this whole pay-per-view is basically about.
right. But Matt Hardy was just in your main event, and again, he's a curtain jerker.
But they tried to make a storyline out of it. They actually did, like with the wife and Jeff
Yeah.
Hardy. It's fine. I'll take it. But it was nothing special. It didn't even need to be here.
And surprisingly, the crowd did something I haven't seen in a long time. They did the little Fandango.
No, they did. Actually, you're right. I didn't even notice that until you just said
Yeah,
it.
they were singing his WWE theme song and doing the dance in the crowd.
Hey, let him have it.
Hey. But Matt Hardy does go over. It's a quick little win. And like you said, this didn't need to be on the show. This could have been an impact match and have like
Yeah.
a more significant match for
Could
Matt
have been one of
later.
the pre-show matches.
Yeah. So with that, we are going for our TNA World Tag Team Championships. It's the system defending against ABC.
This match was really good.
Yeah. And as much like you said, we're not really big fans of Brian Myers or Eddie Edwards. They held their own in this match.
Agreed. It was a solid match.
Yeah.
So, actually, like a well, like put together
Yeah.
match.
Good near falls, good moves, like good tag team offense. Like
And
both
we
teams
love
had good.
ABC, so
Yeah.
we're never upset about them
And
winning.
we're not upset the fact that they have the belts back. So, but I find these belts are being I can see now the dismantling of the system is happening
Yeah,
already.
as much as we don't like the tossing around of these belts, I understand why this happened and how it happened and all of that. And it's gonna eventually they're gonna end up around Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy. So we
Yeah.
just have to wait till that happens.
So with that, we'll go into our next match, a match that again didn't need to be here. Mike Santana versus Jake something.
This is I don't want
I
to say
put don't care.
I don't want to say the weakest match of the night because it wasn't like poo, but it felt so irrelevant that even when there was good moments in it, I was like
And
I
they're
felt
both
like
talented people.
It felt like I was wasting my time watching this.
Yeah. And they had it go 10 minutes too.
Yeah, like I said, it wasn't like a bad match, but it hit the point for me where like 5 minutes in, I was like, oh, why am I even watching this?
Yeah, this is an impact match. It's not a. But Mike Santana goes over, so I guess the push for Jake something is done.
I don't know, Carlos Santana.
Yeah, whatever. So with that, we're going into our next match. It's a 6-man tag team match. The Rascals reunited for the first time in TNA in over 6 years. Trey Miguel, Wesley, and Zach Wentz against NXT's No Quarter Catch Crew, Charlie Dempsey, Miles Bourne, and Tavion Heights. Tavion Heights is the one in the N1.
Yeah. So
Noah's N1 this year.
This is my point or my moment when I will say this to me was maybe the weakest match. I really like the Rascals in this. And I like the character that's Charlie Dempsey, but the other two guys are not good wrestlers.
They're too green. They're too new.
They do not belong here. Even Charlie Dempsey didn't look great, but I really enjoyed the character of it all.
Yeah.
But like I said, I thought those three were so out of place in this match with three really good wrestlers. It was like three not very good wrestlers, and I don't know why.
It's like the Rascals had to carry the entire match, and No Quarter had nothing. Like they couldn't.
And if you're WWE, you have no catch. What are they called? No catch.
No
Republic?
Catch Crew. Yeah.
You have No Catch Republic, And then you have the no quarter catch crew,
Yeah, that's
whatever
right.
they're called. Like, well, I don't get it.
Well, Bate is done. Bate's out for about a
For
year.
now.
For a year.
But you know my
Yeah.
point. Like you have literally a tag team called No Catch Republic or whatever
Yeah.
they were called,
The
New
new
Catch
catch.
Republic,
Yeah.
and then No Quarter Catch Crew.
Because British catch style wrestling, right?
Yeah, but it's
That's
like a one of you's British.
yeah.
It
Dempsey's not even
this
British. His
match
dad
was not
is.
very good.
No. And the
It was
match wasn't
fine.
good. The Rascals were good, but the match was not.
Yeah,
Let's
agreed.
put it that way. And the Rascals do win.
Wesley
So
was great.
yeah, Wesley. So was Zach Wentz, and
Yeah, they're all good. I like those guys.
yeah. I want to see what they're going to do with Gallus on NXT. So with that, we'll go into our next match. This is a Montreal street fight for the TNA Digital Media Championship and for some reason the Canadian International Heavyweight Championship.
So nobody knows for sure. I
PCA.
dig
This
deep.
is PCO versus AJ Francis.
I dug deep into this, and
Mhm.
nobody knows if they've um
Reinstated the belt.
reinstated that belt, bought the rights to it to use it permanently, or if it's just for this situation.
Well, a few weeks ago, AJ Francis just declared himself the champion.
Yeah. So it's like no one has proper information on it, right?
No.
But I actually really liked this match. I thought AJ
Yeah.
Francis did a really good job healing it up pre-show, like talking and like all of this, and then the match was pretty good. I like
Yeah.
the outcome. I like that PCO won.
A feel good
felt good.
moment. Yeah.
Yeah, I liked
Wins
it.
in his hometown. That's how you do it, right? So here's a little quick thing Timmy looked up for us. So the title was decommissioned in 1987 so in 2024 the title was revived by TNA as the International Heavyweight Wrestling Championship by AJ Francis, with the explanation that Francis had purchased the rights to the title and declared himself champion. This occurred on June 15th, 2024 during the Impact tapings, which aired on June 27th. This is all from
Yeah,
Wikipedia, just so we're clear.
yeah.
It is currently
I've dug
unknown.
deeper than this.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so basically at the
But
end
I
of the
mean, they've
day,
had some big names as champ. Like you've
but all
had
this
David Schultz and you've had
it's not to
Dino
discredit that they
Bravo
were the
and Billy
biggest
Robinson.
Quebec company, I believe.
Yeah.
But the thing is that we don't know if this is just going to be for this little period of time and then the belt's going to disappear, or is it going to stay permanently in TNA? We don't know yet.
I think the belt's going to slowly disappear.
Yeah,
It'll
it's a
retire.
TNA thing. They love to do that. The
It'll retire
Heritage belt
probably
and
when
like
PSA.
King of the
Yeah.
Mountain belt and like whatever.
King of the Hill, the Hank Hill
Yeah.
belt, the Boomhauer belt. But yeah, PCO does win. Feel good moment for PCO. What do you think of the whole him and Steph DeLander
I don't
angle?
hate it because I really like him and I really like Steph DeLander. So it's stupid,
Yeah,
but
absolutely ridiculous.
it's goofy wrestling, in the words of Simon Miller. It's goofy wrestling that I enjoy.
Yeah.
It's not where WWE pretends to be funny and it's not funny. This is like actually like funny to me.
Okay.
I like it.
Well, let's take a quick detour here and go to talk about, like, right now WWE, they're doing this whole love triangle angle with Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan, and Dominic.
I hate it.
I hate that too, because like they're trying to keep kayfabe when we know Ripley's married to Buddy Murphy and Dom's married as well. Like they post.
It's not just that. It's that through this storyline, Dom has somehow garnered this love from the crowd that he's like the greatest heel ever when he's literally doing nothing.
No, it's all like Liv that did the work, and I'm not even Liv's
He can't
biggest
even
fan.
talk on the mic. Why
No.
are we praising him for his heel work? I don't know. Anyways, I don't have to.
I'm sure
on that.
Putty would love it, but
For sure. Dominique,
yeah. So with that, we're gonna go into our it's kind of like a triple main event. So this is the first of three big title matches. We got Jordan Grace defending the TNA World Knockout World Championship against Ash by Elegance. The match starts off, and first, like, we see Rosemary in the crowd with a new look. Short hair, bleach blonde. I thought that was a little weird. So that made me believe that is Jungle Juice gone? Or
no, they
hurt?
talk about Jungle Juice. She's injured. Somebody, one of the concierge helped to injure her or
Oh,
something.
okay. That's why she's after Ash.
I'm gonna be honest with you. We were talking about this might have been the weakest match, and it's not even because the in-ring work was bad. It was just a really boring match.
It was too much shenanigans
and
too much outside interference.
Yeah,
it was...
and you spent all this time building up Jordan Grace, and we know this because we've watched forever now. Impact Jordan Grace as this monster, and we
Hmm.
all have accepted this. But then in this match, she just came off as kind of like, eh.
Because they didn't want to, like, that's the thing. They didn't want to make Ash look weak either.
But you waited. This is the problem. They waited too long
Yeah.
to let Ash do something.
Yeah.
They should have had her go on a winning streak or something. So I felt like this. I would be like, oh, I understand what's happening.
Yeah. But I don't know. Jordan Grace does retain in the end. It was a short match too. It was like 11 minutes. It wasn't,
Yeah, it just
but it,
existed on this
yeah,
card.
it was in there in the ether. So with that, we're going to our next match, X Division Championship match. Mustafa Ali defending. Is it Mustafa or Mustafa? How do they prefer?
Mustafa,
Mustafa again defending against Mike Bailey.
amazing match,
This was
fucking
fantastic.
phenomenal.
Now let's jump ahead and talk about like the towards the finish. What do you think of all the outside interference and the whole Montreal? I'm tired of the Montreal Screwjob references,
First of all,
though.
I don't know how I never caught this before, but campaign sing is the
Hmm?
greatest fucking thing ever.
Yeah,
Not champagne, it's
it's now
campaign now. I
campaign now.
fucking love it. Um, yeah, shenanigans, it happened, but it felt right. The only thing I would take away from this match, realistically, if I'm being super honest, like
Hmm.
I would give this like a max score. It's that it felt disjointed at times where I was like, okay.
Yeah,
And I hated the constant showing of Veda Scott and her over fucking selling
yeah.
things. Like
This is the first time I think they made reference that they're married.
they did. And it's to me the way it came off was like I understand there's a kayfabe thing and I understand some people want it, but me as the
Yeah,
fan I am of wrestling, don't bullshit a bullshitter. I know
yeah,
this is not real. When you have her there and she's like, oh, and you're like, oh, okay, come on, like chill the fuck out, bro. You
yeah.
keep cutting to her and she's like passing out in her fucking chair for what's happening. Like, take it down a notch.
Overacting, overreacting, like
Yeah, you could just had a she could have just had a concerned look on her face
because
because
she
this
knew the
match
outcome
was
of this. Yeah,
fan fucking tastic.
yeah. That's the only thing I take away was, and that, like I said, the Christ's sake, they trotted out Earl Hebner.
Yeah, I thought that was funny. The one
Yeah,
thing that I did not like about that I cringed is when he kicked the chair and it hit him in the leg. I was like,
and the
"Oh no." Like you brought up
he's
this
dead.
old guy, like he's happy to be here, everything, and then you
Yeah,
do that to him. Like, come on.
yeah. And then he even fell over. And I was like, oh shit, I
Yeah.
hope he's okay.
Well, when he started walking, I was like, "Okay,
Yeah,
well, I can live with
he's
this."
okay.
But
He's
yeah,
okay. But this was like it
fucking best
was.
match.
Yeah, this was match of the night. So with that, they announce that there's going to be two shows coming up. August 30th, they're doing Emergence, and
Mhm.
November 29th is Turning Point. So more shows to add to our list.
Okay, bef uh, sorry, go. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know what I was doing. My bad. Let's get to the main
So
eventy.
we got the main event. It's a six-way elimination match for the TNA World Championship. You have Moose, Macklin, Hendry, Josh Alexander, Frankie Kazarian, and Nick Nemeth all in this match.
Somehow,
Hmm.
out of all the things that happened on this night, I avoided the spoilers for this accidentally. So
Okay.
when I heard six-way match, I was like, holy shit, I got excited. I'm like,
Yeah.
it's gonna be a no ballones all in for the
Yeah.
phones. And I was like, oh shit, this is really good. And the match was genuinely good.
Yeah.
Even Moose,
Because you had,
everybody was good because
I
having
think because you
Kazarian,
had five really good in-ring performers kind of covered up for Moose's
but Moose can
shortcomings.
fit with that.
Yeah.
Moose is not the worst wrestler ever.
First thing I noticed though was Moose stole Cody Rhodes' trunks,
Yes. And okay, but
and Josh stole Brett's.
to me in my well, the way I felt when he first came out, I was like, oh, he's just ripping off Jay Lethal's Macho Man
Yeah,
gimmick.
Black
Um,
Machismo.
but
It
a
kind of
really
worked.
solid match, good in-ring
Yeah.
work, a good story told throughout. I
Now
think
my
the
thought
one,
here was like when Moose eliminates Burt Macklin, and then he
yeah,
got a couple near eliminations. I thought, okay, they're gonna make Moose look like a monster and just like plow through everybody. But like not long after that, like Joe Henry eliminates Moose. This
yeah,
is
and then he
probably
gets
the
eliminated
biggest
by a
Josh
cheap shot by Josh Alexander.
who kind of turns heel, I guess, because he attacks
There,
him
that's the
after.
storyline that's happening.
Yeah.
My biggest peeve of this whole match, surprisingly, is
Hmm.
just the way the way it finished was all the eliminations came in a row.
Yeah.
And I felt like you should have at least had them all team up on one guy and eliminate one guy in the beginning, because it felt weird that
What I
five
would have
guys in a row got eliminated.
what I would have liked, instead of having Moose eliminate Macklin, all five team up on Moose right at the beginning and have him first eliminated, so you're guaranteed a brand new
Yeah, because you're
champion.
already going to have him lose anyways. And I think
Yeah.
that would have been a really smart idea. And then even somewhere close in the middle, someone gets eliminated and then have all the rest at the end, because it felt like spot fest of
Yeah.
eliminations. You know, like when you're watching AEW and there's a spot fest and you're like, oh, something's happening. But this was like a spot fest of eliminations. You were just like, well, this
Yeah.
guy's eliminated, this guy's eliminated, this guy's eliminated.
So all five eliminations took place within 10 minutes of
But I
each
love
other.
that the final two,
Were Kazarian
Kazarian and
and
Nemeth.
Nemeth. Yeah, the crowd
It was
was
kind of a
so
feel good moment for me to have Kazarian make it there.
yeah, but the crowd was legit upset when Hendry got eliminated.
Yeah, but he's not ready yet.
No,
But I'm
I
glad that they put him there.
yeah,
And here's my issue with that. And
I think that was a test. They're gonna see how this goes. They're gonna do a
exactly.
feud with Josh and
I
see how
meant
that
I
goes.
meant to say this when we started talking about this match, but the way I felt immediately was like, I'm unsure of the Joe Hendry thing.
Hmm.
You took him from the bottom of the card and he elevated so fast, and I understand it's because his popularity skyrocketed, but he was already pretty popular in the beginning and you left him at the bottom.
Yeah,
What's your reasoning now for him being where he is?
they're banking
And
on
now
it.
that he is where he is, why did you let him fall so easily? Does that make sense?
Yeah, they're
Like
they're
now you
trying
need
to
to
they're
now, because the storyline we just talked about, we know there's going to be a long period of time now before he
mhm.
even gets a chance to win the title. So why did you put him here? What's he going to do now? Go back down to the X division?
He can't. He's too big for the X. Like he's too like not
He's not
big
that guy.
size. Like he's
Yeah.
not. He's too popular. I think
But Nick Nemeth wins, if anyone's wondering.
yeah, Nick Nemeth is your new, and this was another feel good moment. Like the
Happy.
the locker room comes out, like everybody, and this is good for Nick's career too.
It's huge. To this is the thing, right? And we have these arguments all the time, especially with people at my work that are mostly WWE fans,
Hmm.
about like what's more valuable to you, winning what Nick Nemeth won in WWE and never doing anything else, or now that you've left and you won a New Japan belt, you won the AAA title, now you're the TNA, all of a sudden in the grand pantheon of wrestling, you're more valuable than
Hmm.
90% of those WWE guys who have the same record as you.
Someone
Because
like the
you,
Miz.
yeah, exactly. Now you've won in three other companies.
Hmm.
And to
Yeah,
me, that's like my staple of like what it means to be a wrestler.
yeah,
When you are in other companies winning and you go to WWE and win like Cody Rhodes, I appreciate that.
yeah.
But if you spend your whole career in WWE and you win a couple titles here and there, and then you end and people try to value you more than like a Kenny Omega type that's won in all these places, that to me, there's nothing there.
No.
And I think a lot of people there, yes, the safety, the money, but like you hit your 40s, you should go to other companies and try to get other
Yeah,
belts to give your name like value, super
yeah.
value.
But like that's exactly it. And I think the Miz is a perfect example because he was always in this perpetual feud with the Miz. So they were on kind of the same like two world championships, multiple tag belts,
I
multiple
already don't
IC
like The
belts.
Miz, but when I finally saw the clip, you know how they used to do that show where it was him and Brian Danielson
Hmm.
and they would argue about stuff. And Danielson, I watched this like highlight reel
From Talking Smack.
of them actually like not scripted, like going off
Yeah,
script and like arguing with each other and him making The Miz look stupid. And then there's one interview
where the
where it's
Miz
him and
just
Big
went off.
E.
Yeah,
And he's trying to explain to Big E why he had a harder time coming up through this business than Kofi Kingston did, and how his title wins are more important. This is on WWE TV.
hmm,
And Big E just starts laughing. He's like, you think you had a harder time coming up through this company and your title wins are more important than Kofi Kingston winning? He's like, he's black. He had to go through all that shit. He had a fake gimmick where they pretended he was
he was
Jamaican.
Jamaican. Yeah,
And like his what he did is so much more valuable than anything you've ever done. It's literally a WWE TV show and they're
yeah,
having this conversation. And that made me lose. I already didn't like the guy. I lost all my respect for him. Yo, bro, you had it handed to you. You came up through
yeah,
MTV.
yeah.
You got gifted. You were not the best person on that series of
Tough
Tough
enough.
Enough or whatever it was.
Yeah,
You were gifted by being a generic looking white guy.
and having a little bit of charisma.
Yeah. And not to take away from his mic work. I think he's a great mic worker,
Yeah,
but watch him in the ring. He's not very good.
no. When somebody does a tope, he walks out of the way
Yeah.
instead of catching them.
Even if you love it,
Yeah,
even if you love him, that's fine. But
yeah,
the way that he talked to Big E about Kofi and that thing, you lost me there, buddy.
yeah.
It's over for you. You went full CM Punk to me. That it's done for me.
Yeah, but no, but like you're saying, that's the perfect, and that's the thing. Miz is a lifer WWE guy, and we thought Nick Nemeth slash Dolph Ziggler was going to be too. And surprisingly, he was let go, and he says, "You know what? I'm going to prove my worth."
Nick Nemeth is
Hmm.
very good and was a real talent.
Yes.
Okay, he had it. And
Yeah.
I understand that the way he came up in his gimmick got him kind of like not top tier. He fell into that like top
Yeah.
mid tier. But I mean, good for him. I'm happy for him. It was a
Yeah.
good win.
Yeah. Good win. Decent show. It wasn't horrible. It
No,
wasn't.
I really
Yeah.
enjoyed this show for how
Yeah.
long it was. Like regardless of how we talked about it, the
Hmm.
amount of matches we had and the consistency of like fineness all the way
Yeah.
through, like it's like AEW, right? It's hard to put on 12 matches and make them all good. Like New
Yeah.
Japan, right?
And
WWE
four
has the
and four
benefit
decent pre-show matches
of having
too.
tight shows. And
Yeah.
I'm not discrediting because I love a good WWE pay-per-view. I love it.
Yeah. When they put on 5 solid matches, it's great. I could use 6, but
I'm a six guy. I think there should be six.
yeah. But in the end, like we said, Nick Nemeth wins. So what would you rate this show?
I would give it a 7.8.
Yeah, that's a very fair score. I'm right with you. I'm a 7-7 on this one.
Yeah. I think if regardless of storylines or here and there, like some
Yeah.
matches just being okay. There was no matches I can, even the ones I said worst match of the night. I can't point at that Jordan Grace
Okay.
match and say
We could
poo.
say no, we could say the matches were a little weak and a little lackluster, but they were still decent
I
matches in
wasn't
the
upset when they finished. I was like,
yeah.
okay. Like
Yeah.
really, the only two realistically was the new catch or whatever it is,
Yeah.
no,
No
and
no
but
quarter
that wasn't
catch
even a
crew.
bad match. It's just they didn't perform to the level that the Rascals did.
Yeah.
And in the women's match, there was a lot of nonsensical
And
shit
even that
happening.
match too had a great feel
Like
good
The
moment with
Mike
the
Santana match was not bad. It
yeah.
just why was it on this? I don't understand. Even the Matt Hardy match was not
Yeah.
bad. I just don't get why it was here.
Yeah. There's a few matches like that on the card, but they were still good. It
They
wasn't like
were
they
still
were
good.
Eric Young and Jake. No,
Do
Eric
yourselves
Young.
all a favor and watch the last 2 weeks of Dynamite because they
Yeah.
have been pay-per-view worthy shit. Whatever
Yeah.
Tony Storm and Mariah May are smoking, I want some of that because that shit is so good.
Did
That
you
shit is
see Okada
so
the
good.
other day? I got injured at the I got and
Oh,
he has
he's
like
my
the
guy.
one the little
He's my
staple
guy.
on his finger.
Anyways, yeah, that's it.
Yeah. That's it, guys. So thanks again for joining us. And tune in next week. Hopefully, next week we will have our ROH review. It was Death Before Dishonor, so hopefully we'll get that out for you next week. And eventually, we are also going to get out the SummerSlam review for you as well. So with that out of the way, thanks again for joining us. And in the words of Kenny Omega, goodbye and good night.